Hello everyone, Jim Revelle here, the chaplain. Welcome to the month of May, DRF. And I want to share with you something for this month. It's going to be a challenge. I was recently looking at Stephen Covey's book called 7 Habits. It's a kind of a personal management classic. And he talks about 3 circles. And if you drew a circle around your life and starting with the outer rim, that would be the circle, what he calls a circle of concern. Those are things you may see on the news or reports we hear from even other parts of the world or areas that we're concerned about, but we have no direct control over. A lot of times we allow those things to rent space in our head, and it can create a lot of stress and anxiety in our life. Then you move a little bit closer and you have what is called the circle of influence. That are things that areas you don't have direct control over, but you can influence, and you can be a positive or negative influence in those things by what you contribute, whether to the team or to your family or to life. And so those are what you call that's the circle of influence. But then there's this inner part, and that's what Stephen Covey called the circle of control. Those are things that you yourself choices you can make that have direct impact on our life. Those are the areas you control. During this pandemic, the last couple of years, we have seen stress and anxiety go off the charts in our society as people have isolated and just all kinds of unique things have happened in our culture. I want to give you a tool that is perhaps one of the strongest and most effective tools against both stress and anxiety, and it's something you have control over. And you say, well, what would that be? It's the tool or the habit of gratitude or gratefulness. Robert Emmons, who's with the University of California, Davis, writes this. He says, gratitude has one of the strongest links to mental health and satisfaction with life than any other personality trait. Think about that. The strongest links to mental health and with a satisfaction in life. Now, it's not a panacea for all resolving of those things, but it's a great starting point. He says it's stronger than optimism, stronger than hope, stronger than even compassion. Now, those latter 3 things I mentioned are important, but gratitude is like a magic pill. And he describes it as a felt sense of wonder, thankfulness, and appreciation for life. And it's where I stop in the moment and I focus on the present moment, and I appreciate life as it is today and what makes it so. So I begin to do kind of a little audit of some good things in my life. And you're going to find that gratitude has a turbo power that creates a greater joy in our life, greater enthusiasm, greater optimism. And it also is like an antihistamine or a weapon against envy, of resentment, greed, bitterness. See, when we're focusing on what we don't have, we can become envious of others, we can become angry at life. But when we focus on gratefulness, it has a power that can actually change us. And they find that it even impacts the neuroplasticity in our brain, that we create brand new freeways in our head, new ways of thinking. And it takes a little time to develop. There was an interesting study done by a psychiatrist who was doing some work with severely depressed patients, and he gave them a simple project. And what he asked them to do, some of them couldn't even hardly get out of bed. They had to almost pry themselves out of bed, but they were very depressed. And he gave them this assignment. They had a computer in whatever room they were staying in their bedroom, and they were assigned each day to get up and type in 3 things that they're thankful for on the computer. Well, what he did, he studied them at the beginning of he had them do this 2 weeks, and at the beginning, at the end of that 2-week period, he found that for each of them, they made significant strides in overcoming their depression. Now, it wasn't the panacea that fixed all of it, but it was a good starting point. Remember the circle of control, things you can make a choice. So what if, during the month of May, we declared May the month of gratitude? Now, typically in our culture, November is a time we celebrate Thanksgiving. But shouldn't Thanksgiving be a regular culture or lifestyle that we live every single day, and you have the power to do that. You say, yeah, but my life's not going well. I'm having challenges. I'm going to tell you this, we all have challenges. But there's always good things that we can stop and notice. And what they found is sometimes it's not even massively large things that make a difference. You can stop and say, wow, I am so grateful for my Dunkin' Donuts cup of coffee. I love that coffee. Or I'm so grateful. I was sitting here this morning, looked out the window, look at that beautiful orange and black Oriole that I saw flying by my window. Or maybe it's a relationship, or maybe it's a colleague at work, or some small thing that someone has done, or maybe it's a large thing. But what I am challenging you to do over the next month, what if you did your top 40? What if you got a little sheet of paper somewhere, or maybe you do something where you record it in your phone or whatever. But at the end of this month, that you have 40, maybe 50 things that you say, wow, look at all the things I'm grateful for in life. What would happen from the beginning of May to the end of May if you actually practice that? Now, as I'm doing rounds each week, typically on Monday or Tuesday, throw out some things that maybe that you're thinking about, that you're grateful for. And I'd love to hear your list, or love to hear one or two things off your list. If you'd like to contact me, I'd love to chat. If you have more questions about this, 877-322-CHAP. That's 877-322-2427. My extension is 5017. Thanks.